you will be able to create an electrical plan by the end of this video, using symbols that we can capture in a schedule that automatically updates when we adjust things on the plan. We'll also cover how to create custom symbols so you can make exactly what you need when you need it. Now to get started, we're going to create this light symbol. So we'll just go to the arc/circle tool. We can use any pen that we want. I kind of like an orange for my electrical stuff. Now we're just going to click into the screen. We're going to drag our cursor out, and then we're going to hit tab so we can type in our dimension, and we're going to type in 100 for the radius, and we'll hit enter. Now it's going to let us do the arc as well, but we'll just click once more where we originally had it, or we can just hit enter and then hit enter again. Now we'll go to the polyline tool. We'll have the same pen selected, and from here we'll just go to the top down to the bottom. We'll double click, and then the same, we'll go from right all the way to the left. We'll double click using the polyline tool. From here we'll hit escape twice. We'll select over the whole light, and then we'll use the shortcut Control E to rotate. We'll click in the middle and we'll click at the top. Then we'll start dragging it across, and then we'll hold in shift so it locks into 45 degrees, and then that's going to rotate it. Now the simplest way to turn this into a symbol is just to select the light. We can then go to File, we'll go to Libraries and Objects, and then we'll go Save Selection as Object. From here we can give it a name. We can call this Simple Light 1, and then we can go save. From here it'll ask us about the lines and pens. We can just leave all this as it is, and we'll go OK. From here, if we hit escape and deselect, if we now go into our object tool, and then we go up to the settings just here, we'll now notice that we have our simple light in our embedded library just here. With this selected, we can go OK, and we click into the open space. We've just placed our symbol. If we hit escape and escape again, just so we see this is all clear, we can now select our symbol that we've just created. Now, one last little step. If we now change the scale to something that's a bit larger, we'll want to capture this just here. We'll use the shortcut Windows key Shift S to use the snapshot tool. We'll capture our symbol. And from here, if we select our light symbol and then we go to File, Libraries and Objects, and then go Open Object, just down in this preview picture just here, if we click once and then go Control V, it's going to paste that snapshot into there. You should be able to just drag and drop it into the file as well. If we now exit out of the preview picture and we save the file, this is how we can change what the preview picture looks like. This way we've actually got a preview of our light that we've just created instead of this little placeholder. Personally, I find it much easier to actually locate the things that we've created if we have symbols that we've put into the preview. Now that we have our light, we can actually start drawing our plan. So with the object tool selected and the light that we just created selected as well, we can go OK, and then we'll click into an open space on the plan. From here, we'll deselect the tool, hitting escape twice, and we're going to select the polyline tool. Now, if we click in the bottom left-hand corner of the room, and then we hold in shift, and then at the very top, double click, this is going to create a line. We're going to use this as a guideline to draw in our lights. If we hit escape twice and we select that polyline that we just created, with the polyline selected, we're going to click on the line, and then the pet palette will pop up. In the pet palette, we'll want to go to multiply. This might look a little bit daunting, but when you follow along, it will all make sense in just a second. So we'll go through to distribute. Now, so that we can evenly space it across the room, what we're going to do is we're going to type in 3 copies, and we're going to click on -1 for the distribution. Again, it'll make sense in a second. We'll leave everything else how it is there at the moment, and we'll just go OK. If we click on our line and we drag it across to the right, we'll see that we've got multiple copies that are duplicating across our plan right now. Now, if we hold in shift, this is going to lock it at 0 degrees, which is exactly what we want for accuracy. And then we're going to drag our cursor across, and then we're going to line it up with this wall just here, and we'll click once. This has segmented our room into 4 equal quadrants. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we want to do the exact same thing going this direction. So we'll use the eyedropper tool. So we'll want to hold in the Alt key to activate the eyedropper tool. We'll click the polyline once, just as a shortcut to select the tool. And we'll click in this top corner just here. We'll drag our mouse across, holding shift to lock the angle at 180. We'll double click. We'll hit escape twice to make sure that's deselected up there. We'll select our line, click our line once again, and then we'll go to the multiply option on the pet palette. We're going to do the exact same thing. We don't have to change anything here now that we've got it set up. And we'll just go OK. From here, we'll click this line just here, and we'll drag it down all the way to this point just here. And now we've created another 4 quadrants. Now these fills here were just for illustrative purposes. Now what we can do with all these guidelines is we can select our object. We'll go Control D to drag it. We'll click in the center point just here and we'll put it into this center point where those guides intersect. From here, we want to use the shortcut Control D to drag again, same thing. We'll click in the middle just here. Now, when we're dragging it across, we'll tap Control just once, and you'll notice next to the cursor, it's got a little plus icon next to it. So we've actually enabled it to create a duplicate. So if we now click on that center point just there again, we now have 2 of our lights set up and done. We want the same thing just down here as well. So again, another shortcut. If we hit escape twice, just to make sure everything's deselected, we'll hold in Shift to select our object. When we're holding Shift, it lets us select multiple things at the same time. We'll use the shortcut Control D. And we'll drag these ones down. Again, we'll tap Control just once, and then we'll click when these hit the center point of those guidelines. Now to get our lights and switches to pop like this, there's a really quick trick that I like to use to make those lights stand out more on the plans. We'll just go to the Fill tool. We'll go to Geometry Method Rectangular, and we'll want to go to Fill 50%. From here, for the colors, we'll just want to make sure we have a white selected for our fill pen foreground. And then for the fill pen background, we'll want to make sure that this one is set to transparent. From here, if we click top left and drag it all the way down to the bottom right, we might have noticed that nothing's happened. We hit escape to deselect the tool. If we now select in the space that we drew that rectangle, we've got this fill, but we want to bring it to the front. So we're just going to right click in the open space. We'll go to display order and we'll go to bring to front. Now that's brought that all the way up above all the other elements. We're going to want to right click and then send this back just 1. So we'll go send backward. So I'll send it back just 1. Now what we can do is if we go to our symbols, holding in Shift and we select the symbols, just like this. If we right click in the open space and go display order and go bring to front, those are now going to be above the fill, and the fill is going to be above the plan, which makes all the electrical elements really pop on the drawings. Now, the next thing to really make things simpler to read would be to turn off the fills on the actual floors themselves. So if I hold in Control, tap L just once, this will bring up our layers. I'm going to create a new layer. Now this one, you'll notice, is extremely sparse. Like there are no layers, there are no layer combinations. This is so that we can walk through it and it's as simple as possible. I'm just going to call this one floors and I'll just click into this space here. I'm going to turn this layer off and I'm going to go OK. From here, I'm just going to select the floors and the fills and I'll just change that to the floors layer. Now this is the slabs, so that's just going to go floor. It's going to want me to do it again for the fills. So we'll do that as well. We'll notice it's the fill just here. And we'll go to floors and that's going to hide all of those there now. Now, if we want those lights to pop even more, if we select our fill that we created just before, we can even bump this up to say something like 75%. And we'll click into the empty space. And now these become the first thing that we see when we look at the plan. So from here, we'll want to start adding in the rest of the symbols to the plan. Now for these to show up in the schedule later, for all of the objects, if we scroll across, I've got each of them with the set ID, which is just here. I've got that set to electrical plan. And then with all of our objects selected, we'll just, this is just text. So we just type in electrical plan. Make sure that that is the ID for all of the objects. Otherwise, they're not going to show up on our electrical schedule, because one of the key criteria just here is that it contains the word electrical in the ID. But we're going to set this all up a little bit later. So from here, we'll want to start adding in the rest of the symbols to the plan. So we can grab things, say like the light switch. We'll bring this one just over to here. When we come through this door, we're going to go onto the left-hand side. So we'll put this one here. We'll mirror this one around using the shortcut Control M. We'll click in the middle and we'll drag up, and then we'll hold Shift so it's at 90-degree angle, and we'll click once. That's going to flip it around. We're going to shift it a bit further across. Excellent. Now it's in the background. So what we're going to want to do is right click in the empty space and then go display order and bring to front. Now, so that we don't have to do that every single time, we're just going to select everything here and go display order and bring to front. Now, just as a test, I'll bring this one over. Yep, that's brought it to the front. Now from here, we want to connect those lights to that light switch. Now, typically I'll do this with a spline, and I'll use a very fine dashed line. The spline tool is just down here. It's a bit different to the polyline tool. but very handy for this kind of use. So we're going to zoom back into our floor plan. We'll click the centers of the lights and we'll notice that it starts to automatically arc that line. Click this one and then we'll click through to that switch just there. We'll hit escape twice and then we'll select that spline, right click, and we'll go display order and bring to front. From here, we'll just keep on layering in each of the different elements, from switches to PowerPoints and anything else our project needs. From here, we can select our reference lines that we created a little bit earlier. We'll hold shift and deselect that fill, and then we can just delete these. Now, so that we don't have to build these up from scratch every single time, I recommend setting up or using a template. My template, along with all of its presets and symbols, is now available down below. It's also got an example project, again, saving a bunch of setup time. We're now going to set up our electrical schedule. Now, before we can do this, although I find it very handy to have all of the symbols just here, so I can copy and paste them to the drawings really quick and easy, we need to cut these off the plans. And inside of the project map, I'll typically have a detail set up, like electrical, just here, where it's got all of these symbols in a detail. Now, this is really important. Otherwise, they're all going to show up on this electrical schedule, and it's going to be a massive mess. So now it's time to set up our electrical schedule. So from here, we'll go to the project map and we'll go all the way down until we get to schedules. If we now go to components, right click and go new schedule, we can create our new schedule, which we'll call electrical-1 for this example. And then we'll go okay. Now the first thing we'll do is we'll just remove this first criteria. So from here, we want to go add criteria, element ID. We'll double click this one. And from here, we'll just type in electrical. Now from here, if we go okay, and we double click on our schedule, we'll notice that nothing's happened. If we open up the scheme settings, this is because we now need to add in some fields. So for this one, we're going to go to N quantity. We're also going to go to 2D plan view. We'll hit enter, and we'll also go library part name, and we'll hit enter. There we go. And just with these three, if we now go okay, we now have all of our elements showing up in the table, but it's a complete mess. But in just a few steps, we can take it from this to this. So one of the first things that we want to do is go to merge items. And when we click on this, it's going to merge all the same type objects, and it's going to add those all to the quantity. This massively compresses our table, but shows the key information. It's still a mess. So what we need to do is go up to cell size and settings, and then we'll want to resize columns to fit content and resize rows to fit content. And we'll go okay. But there's still things that we can do to make this look way better. Now, if we want all the row heights just to be uniform, we'll go 15 and we'll hit enter. And that evens out the spacing. From here, we can compress things just by bringing this one in and condense our text as well. From here, we can give it custom labels to the top of the table as well. So we'll type in symbols and we can condense this one down to just name. From here, we can center the text as well. And to make it really pop like this. Now for the exact color of this schedule just here, you'll want to copy this RGB just here, if you want the exact color of orange that I'm using here. So from here, selecting the table, we go to stripes, we turn this on, and then we go into the color and we go to the RGB, which is 241. Then we hit the tab key and we hit 227 and then tab once more and 197. That's going to bring us to this sandy kind of orange color. And we'll click OK. Going to click on the symbol as well, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn on stripes. We're going to enter in that same RGB. And then from here, if we want to, we can turn off the borders. If we want the stripes to do the heavy lifting of delineating each of the different items. Or we can have the borders on and just put them to say like a lighter gray if it suits the aesthetic that you're going for. For the time being, we'll just turn off the cell borders. And from here, we can save this view. We can give it a custom name if we want to, but electrical schedule is pretty good for our purposes, and then we can go create. Now in the view map, we'll have our electrical schedule just here. Future mark here. Just been editing this video that you're watching at the moment. One little thing that I noticed is the quantity in the schedule was quite high. So it turns out that I'd duplicated the actual electrical at one point during the exercise, and I didn't delete it. So I thought I'd use this as a reminder to make sure that you don't have stray items that you don't actually want to show up in the schedule. Now the good thing is we can just delete this and we'll go back to the electrical schedule and it's going to automatically update all of those. So just something to keep an eye out for in your projects as well. because it's a very easy mistake to make. All right, back to the video. Right now, all of the information is currently covering our floor plan, and we want to create a separate electrical plan. This is actually pretty straightforward once you've done it a couple of times, and we're going to go through it step by step. So what we can do, we can actually duplicate our floor plan. So if we click and hold this, and this is in the view map, if we click and hold on the floor plan, hold Control, and then drag it down, you'll see a little plus icon just next to your mouse. If we click and drag it down, we'll see a little plus icon next to our mouse. And if we release our mouse key, and then we can release Control, we'll see a little duplicate of the ground floor plan. Now, if we right click, we can relabel this one. We'll call this electrical layout. We'll go OK. And we've now got two separate plans. But when we click on both of them, they've still both got the electrical information. So this is where we just need to tweak a couple little things. So if we double click on the ground floor plan, if we hold in Control and tap L, this is going to bring up our layers and layer combinations. Now, all we need to do, we'll select into this open space just here, and we'll go to New. We'll go Electrical Plan. We'll click into this empty space to finish the operation. And from there, we'll go OK. And if we now go over to our electrical plan and go to View Settings, if we go to Layer Combination, we can go to Electrical Plan. And if we click OK, still nothing's happened. If we click between the two, it's still got all the electrical stuff there. This is because we haven't taken all the electrical elements that we've got and put them onto a layer that's turned on the electrical layout, but turned off on the ground floor plan. But this is really easy to do, which is great. So what we're going to do, we'll go Control L again, shortcut to open up the layers, and we'll go New. For the sake of this one, we'll go Electrical, and then we'll click into this open space, and that will adjust it alphabetically. Now, currently, it's got the little eyeball open. Now, what we want to do is we actually want to turn the eyeball off, and then we'll go OK. From here, what we want to do is select all of our electrical elements. If we hold in Control and tap F, and then we add criteria, and we go Element ID and hit Enter, and we type in electrical, and then we press the plus button, it's going to select all of the objects with the electrical ID. And that's why it's so critical to have that electrical ID filled out earlier. Otherwise, you're going to have to go through, relabel everything with that ID. And it just takes a little extra time. So it's not a big deal if you didn't give it that label ID. You just need to go through and then label it. Now, it looks like we actually missed those original lights that we put in first. So if we hit deselect for a second and we hold in Shift and we tap Tab to cycle through the elements to select the one that we want, we can select those lights really quick and easy. We can change all of their IDs to electrical plan and hit Enter all at the one time. We'll hit Escape and then we'll press the plus button once again. And that's selected all of our elements, which we're going to put onto the electrical layer, which is going to be hidden. Next up, we'll just want to select all of our lines. Then we'll turn these ones to the electrical layer. And last but not least, we'll want to take our fill, our 75% fill, and we'll put that to electrical as well. Excellent. So we've put everything onto the electrical layer. Now, if we go over and double click on electrical layout, still nothing's going to happen because we just need to do one of the final steps now. So if we hold in Control and tap L, it's going to bring up our layer combinations and layers. With the electrical layout selected, we'll turn this one on and then we'll go to update status. If we now click OK, it's going to show up when we go to the electrical layout. Now, if we go to the ground floor layout, all of those will disappear. But we're still missing the ground fills that we put onto the other layer earlier. So we'll just hold in Control L. We'll make sure that floor plan is selected. We'll turn on the floors. We'll go update and we'll go OK. And this is going to show up everything on the ground floor, which means if we go to our layout now, we can have our ground floor plan and our electrical plan separated. But if we shift something, say in one of them, like the bed, for example, and we go back, it's going to automatically update on both of those plans. Now that you know how to draw an electrical plan and schedule, you'll absolutely smash this next video that covers how to capture areas. So go on and check it out.